Hello YouTube and welcome to another build video. In this particular video I'm going to be talking about the Smiter, and this is a Paladin using Smite. And as usual I'll give my little disclaimer that I like to say. By far is this no means the best Smiter out there, or that this build will smoke any other builds out there. I'm just giving you my way of doing things and my build so that perhaps you can copy it or use some aspects of it or whatever it is that you like. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's take a look at my Smiter's inventory. For the weapon, I'm using Last Wish Phase Blade, and I do suggest using the Phase Blade, and it's just because it attacks faster, and in general I think is better than the Berserker Axe. So we do have a somewhat okay roll here. I'd say this is a mid to low roll here. And the reason we like to use this with the Smiter is obviously Fade, Life Tap, very important. Crushing Blow is another thing we like to have a lot of, so if we can get it, we always want that. The whole sword is just amazing. Now, if you guys don't have a large amount of higher runes, or if it would be hard for you to obtain this type of weapon, I would also suggest a Grief Phase Blade, or what's known as a Grief PB, would be a good substitute, as it will cost you a lot less in terms of high runes to make one of those. So there's that. Next up, I'm using the Drac's Grasp Vampire Bone Gloves. Again, this is a life tap chance. We also have a lot of life stolen per hit, open wounds, and strength, which is all good for our build. A Ravenfrost, I don't think that needs an explanation. Verdungos, Volcathos, upped Gores. You could use regular Gores if you want, doesn't really matter. These just have more defense on them, that's why I'm using them. An Exile Vortex Shield. And of course, any Exile will do, or you can run an upped HOZ, and many people have said they prefer that actually to that of the Exile. It's up to you what you like better. I am using the Exile, so you can tell which one I like the most. Next up, we have a Chains of Honor and a Dusk Shroud. An AP version of this would be just fine, an Archon Plate if you wish, whichever one you like better. But this has a lot of resistances on it, plus 65 is pretty significant. And when you're doing Ubers, that will become increasingly more important to have those extra resistances. So, in my opinion, I like to run that. Next up, we have Crown of Ages. This is a two-socketed Crown of Ages with 2 bear runes in it. If this is a little bit too rich for your blood, you could always run a Guillaume's. I hope I'm saying that right. Set Helmet. And that one will give you more Crushing Blow, and it will be cheaper. So you can run that instead, whichever one you want. Last but not least, I have Mara's Kaleidoscope. On the Switch, we just have a CTA, in this case a 5BO CTA, and a random spirit to cast it with. In the inventory, I have an Annie and a Hellfire Charm. Now, if you're running D-Clones, or if you're running the Hellfire Charms, or if you're trying to get them, it may not be the best idea to have a character that already has these on them. However, I would like to point out that if you're like me and you're running multiple CD keys and you can have multiple Diablo 2 windows open at once, then it doesn't matter as much to you. You can just have another character come in and grab that stuff and then jump out. It's up to you. If you can't do that and you need to pick it up in the game, I would suggest transferring these off and running without it. But in my case, I don't really need to do that because, like I said, I can grab another character. In terms of stats, I'm currently running enough strength to wear my items, enough dexterity to max out my block, and all the rest of my points are going into vitality. In terms of skills, I have maxed out Holy Shield and Smite. That's pretty obvious. Both of those work hand in hand. Offensive auras, we have Fanaticism maxed out. And defensive auras, I've maxed out Defiance. And the reason I maxed out Defiance is it is a bonus, a synergy bonus to Holy Shield for your defense. And then last but not least, let's take a look at our Mercenaries gear. And the Mercenary is using an it's an E-bugged, technically, Fortitude Bone Weave. Just a random roll will work just fine. Obviously, if you can get a better one, you should. We also have a Pride Colossus Vulge. This one's only a 17 concentration aura, but it works fine. We're using that for the aura because that's pretty important. And just a random Giant Skull so that we can get that bonus strength. So I do use a Act 2 defensive mercenary for the cold aura You may choose to have something else, maybe some attack rating or something else if you so choose. That's up to you, whatever mercenary you like. Some people have also suggested that using I believe it's an ice Act 1 mercenary with an ice bow would work really well as well. I haven't tried that yet, but I think that makes perfect sense why that would work really well and why you should use it. So I hope that helped, guys. If it did, please leave me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And before I go, I'd like to recognize a few people on D2JSP for donating foreign gold to my channel to help me purchase a lot of the items excuse me, that you see in my channel for a lot of these builds. They are providing the foreign gold a lot of times to do that. And so we have IP Little Killer that sent me 300 foreign gold. I very much appreciate that. Completely unnecessary, but thank you nonetheless for doing that. Hiki Nayuki sent me 10, which is awesome. Helped me buy a couple of Ohm runes that I needed. Thank you very much. LM Pack sent me 55 foreign gold. And Evil Domson sent me another 10. So all you guys are great. I appreciate it. Again, not necessary, but I always do like to recognize people that do help me out, whether it be financial donations or donations related to D2JSP. So hope you guys liked it. I'll see you in the next video.